of one of the nation's favourite comics, Sean Lock, shocked everybody.
Well, Sean was just 58 when he lost his battle with lung cancer. Now his family and friends are raising money to help others win their fights in the future.
One of those friends who knew Sean for over 30 years is Bill Bailey, and Bill joins us right now on the sofa, and it's lovely to see you. Thank you for coming in. So we'll talk about the walk in just a second, but let's talk about the man first.
Yeah.
So what was he like? You're a friend for 30 years. You knew him incredibly well.
Yes, that's right. I mean, we met doing comedy. You know, we met at a gig somewhere in West London, and he was one of those comics that all the other comics turned out to see. He had a sort of quite an original, totally original, unique sort of style, and he was funny, just off stage as well as on. He was just very genuine and a very loyal friend and a great sort of, you know, confidant as well as being a great friend. You know, he was someone I'd phone up to get advice for, and he was like
you bounced your comedy off him,
absolutely,
didn't you?
yeah, very much so.
How did that work? So what did you do? Sit down and...
We wrote together quite a lot. You know, we'd sit down in a room together and we wrote comedy sketches together. We wrote TV shows together, and he was very, very rigorous about that. You know, he was, he'd set the bar very high about what was going to get into the show, but when you hit on something that he reckoned was good enough, that Sean, when he would laugh at something, that was the best. You knew you were onto something.
No, he was brilliant. You used to just watch him in awe, really. I mean, his comedy was incredible. Something you shared together was this passion for walking.
Yes.
Wasn't it? And you used to go for walks together quite a lot.
Yeah, he loved the outdoors, and one of the favourite things to do was to go on walks, and we used to go walk for miles, and we'd talk about everything. Sean was, he was a brilliant company. He was interested in anything and everything.
And this is what you're doing to support Macmillan, walking in his memory.
Yep.
And it's a 100-mile walk.
Yes.
You start in Bude in Cornwall.
That's right.
And so how much training have you done for this so far, or did you need to do any training?
Well, no, I mean, that's right. No, you do. I mean, I've done a few walks. I'm actually trying to break in a few new shoes at the moment.
Are these your walking boots?
These are my new walking trainers.
Look at those.
I know, they're a lot brighter than they looked online, I've got to say. I mean, if I go down a rabbit hole, I think I would make the rescue a lot easier.
It will do.
Visible from space.
Shoes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, distance walking is a challenge because you're walking 15, 20 miles every day, so it's consecutively. So you have to kind of make sure that you're able to make it. So the stamina, you've got to build up your stamina.
You do.
So I'll be doing a lot of that.
You're not going on your own though, are you?
No, I'll be going with Sean's family and a lot of friends and pals of Sean that have known him for many years. Lots of comics as well who've worked with him over the years. So it's a kind of way to tell stories, remember him.
And what a beautiful part of the country to be walking in.
It is. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful walks, I think, anywhere in Britain. In fact, in the world. It's loads of World Heritage sites. There's UNESCO sites along the way. Stunning kind of coastal scenery and lots of wildlife.
So you start in Bude. Where do you go?
Well, after that, we go from Bude, we go all up the coast, and we go, we sort of wind our way in and out of river estuaries, and we eventually get up to Combe Martin. And then just beyond Combe Martin is the highest point of the walk, Great Hangman, which is the highest cliff in England, in Britain, actually. So we'll hopefully be going there.
Well, obviously, it's going to be a tough walk. It's going to be emotional.
It is.
It's going to be a lovely thing to do. But most importantly, as well, you're doing it to raise lots of lovely money for Macmillan,
who
are wonderful and supported Sean and his family.
They did, yes. They cared for him very much, yeah.
You've got the Just Giving page.
Yep.
And so far, I think it's extraordinary. You've gone up to 35,000.
I know.
But obviously, the more the merrier.
The more the merrier, absolutely. It's wonderful. I mean, I'm sort of knocked out by the response, really. I mean, and all the comments are wonderful. Everyone's got a personal connection with Sean. Sean got me through the lockdown. Sean was my favourite. All these wonderful comments. Plus, of course, all the people who've experienced, loved ones going through cancer, living with cancer, and have, received support from Macmillan. So it's it's been amazing. So.
Well, anyone who's ever come into contact with Macmillan will know, I mean, they're literally angels, the most extraordinary people. It's an incredible charity. And some of the things that they do, providing specialist healthcare information, financial support for people affected by cancer, work in different areas of cancer care. They've got a confidential phone line open 7 days a week. Online communities, a safe place for people living with cancer to get support. They've got a website as well, which talks about treatments and impacts and all of those things. That needs funding.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. It's all sort of, it receives, you know, just funding from volunteers, from charitable donations. And so all of that, as you say, is just vital work. And it really does have an impact. I mean, I've seen it firsthand, you know, not only with Sean, with my mum as well, how they, you know, at a time when you feel kind of quite vulnerable if you're the other person or you're the, you know, a family member, they really, they step up.
Well, 35,000 isn't bad considering you haven't actually walked a step.
Well, I know, I mean, I know, it's amazing, yeah, incredible. Yeah.
Last time you were here, I think you were about to go on tour.
That's right.
How did that all go?
It went great, actually. I've got to say, there was a wonderful sort of reconnection with the audience. You know, I think people really, I felt almost like a 20% more
They're
reaction
ready for it.
because people were really ready for it. And it sort of occurred to me that for a lot of people that were out, this was the first time they'd been out since before the pandemic started.
Wow.
So there was this huge outpouring of energy. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, now you are back at the Royal Opera House.
Yes.
And you sort of did some dates there, but that was under the restrictions. So now you are free and
Well, this is what I'm looking forward to, because the Royal Opera House, I'm sure you know, it's one of the most iconic venues anywhere in the world. And it, strangely enough, works great with comedy. I mean, they've not really had any comedy.
Oh, you're the first one.
I think so, yeah. The first one to do a run there. I think there was the American comic Jackie Mason did a one-off there a few years ago. But this is the first time they've trusted a comedian with the Opera House for a run. So I'm quite honoured to be there.
And you've sort of tailored and tweaked it slightly for
Very
the
much,
Opera House.
yes. That's right. There's lots of music in it. In fact, I'm trying to sort of pack it with lots of new songs. I've actually got some opera in it. As a friend of mine, Florence Rostovsky, who's an opera singer, she's going to join me for the whole run. So it's very much going to be a musical version of the tour.
I love going to the opera. I really love it. And you really hope that sort of by people coming into the Opera House and watching comedy with obviously a bit of music in there, well, it might encourage them to come and see more opera because people don't tend to do it so much.
I hope so. Yeah, I do think that there's a bit of a cross-pollination of the audiences. You know, I think comedy audiences might go there and may have not been to the Opera House before.
Yeah.
And, you know, my experience last year when the people were saying, oh, it's fantastic, it's a lovely venue, maybe we should come in and see it. I think the thing is we have a slightly sort of view of opera in this country, is it being quite elitist. It's a little bit, you know, maybe it's not for me. Whereas in other countries like Italy and Germany, people go and watch it. It's like going and watch the football. You know, opera is for everyone, and I hopefully it'll.
It's an amazing night.
It'll be way of getting a bit of wider audience.
Yeah, good.
So Royal Opera House, 11th of August.
Yes.
Matinee and evening until the 14th.
Right.
Then you're out on the road. You're walking.
Yes.
For Sean. You obviously, if you are in the Bude area, then you won't miss him because obviously
No,
you're going to.
you just look out for these shoes. You know.
Look down, you'll find him.
Good luck with the fundraising on.
Thank you so much.
It's lovely to
Thank
see
you.
Thank you
very
very
much.